Alright guys, welcome back to Son of Scotland TV, and for the first time in a long time we have a wrestling related video on this channel. I mean, the reason being is wrestling's shite and I try my best not to watch it, but every once in a while you kind of get dragged back into it, and if you can't give it another chance at the Royal Rumble when the road to WrestleMania starts, then when can you give it a chance? So decided I am going to watch tonight's pay-per-view. I've actually been watching some of the weekly shows over the past month and been uploading it to Fog Wrestling. So if you're not subscribed to that channel, make sure you do. But anyway, here tonight, I'm going to give you my preview and my predictions for the Royal Rumble. Definitely growing up, probably my favourite pay per view out of them all. Now it's more or less it has to be WrestleMania, because nowadays WrestleMania is the only time where you're guaranteed a pretty good show. And I think WWE focus now into becoming more of a one show per year kind of company. They kind of put all their eggs in one basket and they go for it at Mania. But definitely growing up, the Royal Rumble was, in my opinion, the most exciting pay per view there was. I mean, a 30-man Royal Rumble, guys, bodies getting thrown over the top rope, surprise entrance, all your favourite superstars in the one match. What was not to love? Albeit now it's been watered down. You don't get the roster's shit, so you're not getting 30 superstars. You're getting about 3 or 4 superstars and 26 bums. And the surprise entrants are pretty much gone. Plus, they've watered it down. We now have a 30 women's Royal Rumble. It's hard to even name 30 women on the roster. Never mind, like, almost all of them are crap. So, do we really need another 30 person match? I don't think so. Fuck it, why not just put the 1 or 2 good women into the men's Royal Rumble? You know what I mean? They didn't create a Royal Rumble back in the day for China, Trish and Lita, so I don't know why they're doing it now. But anyway, let's get stuck in to the card. I'm going to go through the card, give my thoughts on it, and give my predictions for each match. So I don't know if these are in any particular order, but first match of the night: Sasha Banks versus Carmella with her manager Reginald, singles match for the WWE's Women's Championship. Now, Sasha Banks fought this guy on SmackDown like 2 weeks ago. Really stupid match. Basically, she dominated her for 5 minutes. The guy never hit one offensive move. What is the point? What's the point of having a male versus female match if you're just going to make the male look like an absolute fucking bum? And that's what he looked like here. If you can't have any, like, physical fight. I think they can get away with a man performing a move on a woman, but they can't get away with a man striking a woman. I believe that's how it works. So I mean, if you can't do it, just don't do it. Because when you do this, it looks awful. In my opinion, it's like when people have barbed wire matches these days, but it's just like it's wee bits. It's just wire. Like, there's no barbs on the wire. It looks awful. It's the same with chair shots, and they're trying to hit them from every single angle, not to hit their head. I mean, if you can't do it properly, don't do it at all, in my opinion, because it looks bad. Do not care about this match. Do not care about this feud, but I'd be very surprised if Sasha Banks lost. So I'm going to go for Sasha Banks to retain her Women's Championship. Up next, tag team match for the Women's Tag Team Championship: Asuka and Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Jax and Baszler, two of the worst promo people I think ever to grace wrestling. There's been a lot of shitey promos, but I think these two take the cake. Now, I know NXT back in the day had a lot of shit promos, but I mean, that was almost done to like a comedy effect where they were putting people on the spot and they purposely knew that the promos were going to be awful. These two are trying to actually cut good promos on Raw, and it's bullshit. Ric Flair's daughter, I don't really want her to hold any more titles, but at the same time, I really want to see Jax and Shayna Baszler with the tag belts. I mean, Asuka, in my opinion, the only person in this match that is semi bearable. But at the same time, I don't give a shit. I think Asuka and Charlotte Flair will retain. I mean, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler don't like each other. They said they can't get along. Well, why they bother teaming up? It makes no sense. The whole women's tag team division in WWE is abysmal anyway. They don't even have a proper tag team division. There's no need for a set of tag team belts. I mean, if they really wanted to, why not just get rid of the SmackDown or Raw tag team? Get rid of one of the singles championships on Raw or SmackDown, and then exclusively make the tag team championship part of that brand. That's what I would do. Well, personally, I would get rid of all that. I would get rid of the tag team championships and one of the singles belts. I mean, come on, back in the day when there was a women's championship on Raw, I mean, it was plenty. We don't need 4, 5, 6 women's matches every show. It doesn't make any sense. I'm going to go with Asuka and Charlotte to retain. Up next, Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg for the WWE Championship match. I mean, I should be excited about this match. I mean, as a Scotsman, it should be great seeing Drew against Goldberg, but in reality, I mean, Drew McIntyre has been garbage since he won the belt. I would have left it on Orton. Orton's actually one of the only few good things on TV at the moment. I'm not digging Drew McIntyre at all. Telling us how he battled COVID. Could not give a shit how you battled COVID, mate. You don't. Could you imagine if Undertaker came out, man, in the Ministry of Darkness, and he starts saying, "Oh, you know what? Before I take these souls tonight, I've just got to say thank you for the get well messages, and I've overcame COVID." Fuck no. I mean, could you imagine Austin saying, "Oh, I had a wee bit of upset stomach, but I battled back 2 weeks off TV, and I'm back, guys. Thank you." I mean, come on, you're supposed to be hard, man, and Drew McIntyre's in the ring selling over a fucking flu. Joke. Goldberg. I mean, has he said anything in the last 15 years apart from You're Next? If he has, I can't remember. Will Drew McIntyre be next tonight? I don't know. It's probably going to be a 5 minute match at the absolute most. I can't even see Goldberg winning. I can't. I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre winning. To be fair, I probably would prefer Goldberg to win because I think there's something. I think you've got a better chance of a more interesting match with Goldberg at Mania taking on someone, but I think McIntyre will retain the title. So far, I'm going for the three champs to retain. Maybe we're onto something here. It could be a pattern. But anyway, I am going Drew McIntyre. Up next, we've got Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus Kevin Owens. Last man standing for the WWE Championship. I thought the whole booking up to this match on SmackDown was terrible. They had Adam Pearce in it just to reveal it was going to be Kevin Owens. Would that not have been a better reveal to reveal at the pay per view tonight? Would it not be better off going into this pay per view having Roman Reigns believing he's taking on Adam Pearce just to fool him, and it turns out he's taking on Kevin Owens? I understand why they did the switch. I get it. You know, Pierce has got one over on Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, but for me, I wouldn't have announced it until the pay per view tonight. I would have had like Roman Reigns already in the ring, and then Adam Pearce comes out and he fakes the knee injury, and then Kevin Fat Boy comes out for the title match. That's what I would have done. They've not done that. I mean, last man standing, it'll probably be a decent match. I mean, as much as people want to hate on Roman Reigns, he's all right in the ring. He is pretty good. And Kevin Owens, I mean, I'm not a massive fan, but again, as an in-ring performer, he's not the worst, is he really? So this will probably be a half decent match. I think Roman Reigns will retain. I'd be very surprised if Kevin Owens won the belt, especially this close to Mania. I've got to believe they're going to go with Roman Reigns as the champion into Mania, and for that reason, yeah, I'm going to go Roman Reigns retaining. So out of the four matches that have titles in the line, I have went for the four champions retaining. That's just what I think. Now, we'll cover the women's Royal Rumble match first. The reason I want to cover that is because I actually do not give two shits about it. The only woman in this match that I care for at all is Alexa Bliss at the moment. So, will she win it though? I don't know. I don't. Probably not. I think she will be involved in another storyline heading into Mania, which I don't think will require her having a belt. So I don't think she'll win the night. As for who's in the match, it's Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Peyton Royce, Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Tamina, Natalia, and Alexa Bliss, as I mentioned. Now, on an episode of WWE Backstage, Natalia took on Tamina, and it was winner of the match gets number 30 entrant. Now, two things with this. First of all, why are they having two absolute fucking jobbers competing for the number 30 entrant? Like, see, back in the day, like the number 30 entrant would be like a match between Austin and fucking Kurt Angle, or Undertaker and The Rock, two big stars that deserve to be number 30, two main eventers. They pick Natalia, the person that jobs out to everybody, and then they pick Tamina I don't even think Tamina Snuka has ever won a match. And then Tamina loses to the jobber that jobs out to everyone. She jobbed to the jobber. I mean, that's just, it's pretty bad. Why it was those two, I don't know. And my second problem with this is the number 30 entrant not supposed to be someone that gets you hyped, and it's like the last number, it's supposed to be someone big. You're like, oh, here comes the last person, they could win it all. How the hell are we supposed to get excited for Natalia coming out as number 30? It makes no sense to me. The only way I can see around this is if number 30 is going to be a surprise entrant and someone will attack Natalia and take her place. That is the only thing I can think of. Who could it be? I mean, realistically, I don't know. It's not going to be someone like Trish or Lita. I've heard maybe rumours say Ronda Rousey or Becky Lynch coming back. I don't see it. I don't think Ronda Rousey wants to wrestle. anymore. And I mean, Becky Lynch just gave birth about a month ago, so I really don't see that either. But that's the only way this makes sense, in my opinion. If it's not, if Natalia comes out at number 30, then what the fuck are they doing? I'm going to win it. I'm going to go. Well, that's a tough one. I've not even given it much thought, to be honest. Um, I mean, keep in mind, this is not who I want to win it. This is who I think will probably win it. Unfortunately, fuck it. I'll go who I want. I want Alexa Bliss to win it, but I don't think she will. I think Charlotte Flair will win it, but I'll go with Alexa Bliss just for the. I fucking hate Charlotte Flair. I hope she doesn't win it, but I think she will. Unfortunately, I think she will. As for the men's Royal Rumble match, there's 21 out of the 30 entrants that have been confirmed. Now, does that mean we're going to get nine more like surprise entrants, as in like 9 returning legends or Hall of Famers or whatever? Or are we just going to get another 9 bombs that haven't been announced yet? Probably the latter there, unfortunately. Edge and Orton have been announced as number 1 and 2, so at least we're going to start the Rumble pretty well. It probably means they're unlikely to win it. It'd be hard to imagine Edge and Orton going over an hour. But you never know. That the match they had last year, the greatest match ever. At least it was billed as that. I mean, that went pretty long, so I guess it could go long. I don't really see it. I think Randy Orton should win the Rumble, but I would imagine the Fiend is going to return here and either cost him or distract him, and then he will get thrown out either way. So I don't think Randy Orton's going to win this one. I don't think the Fiend will win it. I think he might appear, or at least we'll hear his theme song or something. His lights will come on, but I don't think the Fiend will actually be an official member of the Royal Rumble. So I can't see him winning it. Edge, I think there is a possibility Edge could win the Rumble. I'm not. I mean, out of the picks, I can't imagine anyone on the current roster win that. I honestly don't see anyone being built up or anyone who's got a lot of momentum that could win this. The only other guy I could think of is perhaps the returning Brock Lesnar. If Brock Lesnar won, it'd be great if he could challenge for the SmackDown title. I think him. I know we've seen Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, but to see Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, I think he could do a hell of a lot with Paul Heyman in that feud, and you don't know whose side Paul Heyman's going to be on. And then maybe he'll turn on Brock or he'll turn on Ray. I'd prefer him to turn on Brock and see Brock as the face and have Heyman continue to turn up with maybe Roman Reigns, but maybe have it as a swerve so we believe Heyman is actually going to go back to Brock, but then he changes his mind and stays with the head of the table or the big dog or whatever Roman Reigns is calling himself these days. But I don't know. I don't know if Brock's going to be in the Rumble. He probably won't be. I don't think he will be. So for that reason, I'm gonna kind of go with 2 picks here. I'm going to go with Edge to win the Man's Royal Rumble. But if Brock Lesnar's in it, I think Brock Lesnar will be in it. So I think if Brock Lesnar's in it, I think Brock Lesnar will win it. I don't know if that's fair. I guess that's kind of cheating a wee bit, but fuck it. That's my prediction. If you don't like it, then screw you. I'm going with it. You can't change my mind. Edge to win it. If Brock Lesnar isn't in it, and if Brock Lesnar's in it, then obviously I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar. I mean, it should be a decent show regardless, because like I said, the 2 men's title matches should be alright. I mean, the Rumble's got Edge and Orton starting, so it can't be that bad. And I think we will get some sort of Fiend, the Bray Wyatt appearance. So to me, it should be, by today's standards, it should be a decent pay-per-view. That's my predictions, guys. Let us know what you think down below. Who do you think will win the Royal Rumble matches? And until next time, till the review tonight, peace.